Right on to our top story first. There's 9 days to go before restaurants in Bengaluru may well stop accepting orders on online food delivery platforms. The issue, like we have been reporting over the last few days, is to do with inflated commissions from platforms like Swiggy and Zomato, non-consensual or forced discounting, and simply the manner in which these offers and discounts are being applied without notice to these restaurants. Now, the discord between restaurant and food delivery platform, however, is not new. The National Restaurant Association of India, or NRAI, has been flagging these issues off for months now. Even the competition regulator has cast aspersions over the methods adopted by the two big food delivery platforms, Swiggy and Zomato. So with restaurants finally biting the bullet, could food delivery operations grind to a standstill come August 15th? To discuss all that and more, including how AI could possibly help tide over some of these issues, I'm now joined by Anant Narayan, Bengaluru head at NRAI. Anant, firstly, thank you so much for joining us in South Central today. What's the latest update? Will restaurants in Bengaluru stop accepting orders on Swiggy and Zomato if the platforms don't accept your terms on commissions and discounts?
Good evening, Jude. Firstly, you have summarized the whole problem statement superbly. Hats off to you. Though you're not from the industry, kudos. Bang on, you couldn't have summarized better. Now, coming to the 15th August deadline, like you rightly said, NRAI is present in 27 cities. The might of NRAI plus we are 7 associations in Bangalore and Karnataka. Together, we cover few lakh restaurateurs and few more lakh of employees in the ecosystem. Our objective has been very, very clear. We don't want to hurt the ecosystem. The problem, like you rightly said, the 30% commission is never 30%. Sometimes it's 40, sometimes it's 50, sometimes it's 60. If your partner in progress, which we are to them and they are to us, is pulling out money from your pocket, time we stand united and talk to them. Today, we had a long meeting with the complete leadership of Zomato from Delhi. In fact, there were almost 30 plus people, and we representatives were almost 20 plus. The good thing is that they heard us out. The good thing is that we have called off the ultimatum deadline of August 15th, which we gave them. We've given them time till September 1st. They have promised to sort out most of the problems, which we are for. To be very honest, like I told one of your spokesperson, when there is a discord or discontent between husband and wife, spouse, it's talks and more talks will lead to a solution. Just one spouse making face the other side, the other spouse blaming the spouse is not the solution. That's what we understood today. We have come up with a wonderful solution with Zomato today.
Right. So, Anand, this is a bit of a breaking news right here on ET now. Then what you are essentially saying is that that August 15th deadline does not exist anymore and it's going to become September 1st now. That is insofar as the time that you are giving these restaurants. Is that essentially what is going to happen? And what happens after September 1st then?
Jude, you're correct 50%. Today, the ZOM leadership has accepted to solve most of our problems. They need 2+ weeks, which we gave them September 1st. Fingers crossed, body crossed, I'm sure they'll come back. Tomorrow is Swiggy CEO plus the complete leadership meet. We are hopeful that they also accede. We should not trouble them. They should not trouble us. If tomorrow goes through, then 100% August 15th is called off. And you're right. Probably you're the first channel to break this news. But like I said, it's 50%.
All right. Absolutely. So Zomato done, Swiggy left, but the direction these talks are going in is that 2 more weeks, and so September 1st will be the date that you will be considering, should these demands, hopefully they're met, but if they are not, September 1st is that deadline. But what's the backup plan, Anant, really? If talks don't materialize and if there is no headway with regard to commissions and those discounts that you say are non-consensual, will restaurants in Bengaluru now go back to the good old days, oversee delivery options themselves without the involvement of a delivery partner, so to speak? Is that the contingency option?
Jude, firstly, NRAI has honed the baby called only by Rapido. They have already picked 7% share with 0% commission being charged for the restaurateurs. They are doing a fab job. Now, next, Flipkart has come into the market. Roughly between August 15th to 20th, they should be launching. So we do have two backups. To be honest, Zomato, 99%, I think, will sort out the problems the way they promised us today. I think this should be a backup enough. Worse scenario when we make probably 20, 30 bucks a plate, or rather 10, 20 bucks a plate. When somebody is making 40 bucks and leaving us minus 20, it's better we don't do business than do business, right? So, worst scenario, most of the restaurants are ready to shut down. Best scenario,
Right.
things are going good. Thanks to the mighty associations and NRAI, things are going in a good direction.
Right. But Anant, what's the long-term alternative to this face-off that's been going on for months, if not years? Can restaurants ideate a more equitable and sustainable food delivery ecosystem that also involves the apps and platforms in a way that everyone is happy with a slice of the pie? What is that sustainable formula, really, Anant?
I'll ask you a question, Jude. When does a marriage last long? For a lifetime or for sadjans? It's the communication, it's the talk, it's the sorting out. So, wonderful spouses are there. Probably, if I can talk about a restaurant, we already have two spouses. 2, 3 more are coming up soon.
Yeah.
The essence of the whole thing is that if there is a problem, there has to be a talk. Probably bad luck, this kind of talk hasn't happened. Probably this kind of association strength wasn't there. Probably the leadership didn't know that so many problems were there. Probably right time, right thing happens. Today was the right time, right thing.
Right. But what are your suggestions or your proposals with what constitutes a fair and future-ready delivery ecosystem? What is that looking like as far as the NRAI is concerned?
My absolute sincere opinion, monopoly is dangerous, duopoly is disastrous. 5, 6 operators come, the slips will be lesser. Nobody is perfect. We are expecting nobody to be perfect. Don't rob us, we don't rob you. I think
Right.
4,
moving on is
it should stabilize.
Absolutely. And I know for a fact that you and NRAI are working on a bunch of innovations and solutions to help tide over the problem, a lot of them AI-enabled, so to speak. And why not? You're in Bengaluru, the technology capital of India. Of course, you're turning to AI to help get over these bumps on the road. Can AI help in any way in tackling some of these costs and profit margins and really help restaurants make better profit margins while also taking delivery partners on board?
In fact, the era of Claude, the era of DeepSeek, the era of whatever AI is coming in is already penetrating into this industry. Definitely, you have to be a Roman in Rome. If not, you are left out of Rome. Talking about the AI solutions, tech solutions that are coming into delivery. One, the delivery summit which NRA is doing on 20th of August would be an eye-opener for sure. Multiple innovations would be displayed there and spoken about. Number two, if you ask me personally, I'm a big propagator of AI and automation in kitchen, which, coming back to your point, has helped us a lot in battling multiple things, rather labor problems, lowering profit, inconsistency. These AI innovation systems are helping us. You want me to go delve a little deeper? I can talk about it.
I'd love to have a conversation with you a little later about that because it warrants a story on itself,
Yes.
Anant. But before we conclude, let me ask you, the hope is that talks work out and some sort of compromise is achieved by the 1st of September. So until such time, what do you have in place with regard to ensuring that margins are not hit and these forced discounts, high commissions are not done? Because let's remember that there's still a good 25 odd days or 24 odd days to go. Will the status quo continue between restaurants and the delivery apps for the moment until September 1st?
One, there is no shutdown. Second, immediately Zom has come up with few options. like OTP opt-in, OTP opt-out, no forced discounts. A customer or the owner gets OTP if you have to onboard on some discount or if your commission is going up and down. Second, they promised a weekly meeting with the POCs and the heads coming in once in a month or twice in a month. There are multiple smaller things which actually will add the dots to ensure that till at least this September 1st, a lot of more respite and relief is given. Thanks to the Zomato leadership and thanks to our unity. Lot more will get better in these 3 weeks. And post September 1st, I think much more should come.
All right. On that note, one can only hope that things move positively for both you and as well as the delivery apps, and that some sort of compromise and a future-ready and equitable and sustainable model can be achieved with regard to business and how you go about sharing profits and those commissions as well. On that note, Anand, thank you so much for joining us on South Central and breaking down some of these insights. Great speaking to you right here on the show.
Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you, Jude.
Right. Moving on, a couple of days after his arrest, former Tamil Nadu Deputy Chief Minister and leader of the opposition Udayanithi Stalin has spoken exclusively to Times Now. The senior DMK leader criticized the Tamil Nadu budget, calling it a zero budget, and also said that multiple announcements were in fact rebranded as DMK schemes. Now here's a slice of that conversation with Times Network's Varshini Ramu.
Can you tell us about the budget today, sir?
There's nothing new schemes have been announced. They've just changed the name of the schemes that started during the DMK regime. So this is the only change that the government has shown. It's a zero budget. Their election promises, whatever they said. I think only one scheme they've announced, that Seer, Anand Seer. But that also they've limited the numbers. They said that it's for all the children, but today they've announced only for the babies born only in the government hospital.
Yeah. Sir, and about your arrest, what is...
that's over. I told you yesterday, it's a very funny thing that happened yesterday.
Everybody's talking about the new face-off between Vijay and Uday.
No, it's not like that. I was very sure I didn't talk about wrong about anybody. That was not my intention at all. I was talking about the justice has to be given to the farmers and the water has to be given to them. There was no double meaning or that was not my intention.
Tomorrow is the agri-budget about farmers.
I don't think this government will take that very seriously and they will provide anything for the farmers. I don't expect much.
Well, Udayanithi Stalin, they're saying there is no Uday versus Vijay competition in any way whatsoever as far as the Tamil Nadu politics are concerned. But moving on, even as the Cauvery water dispute continues to dominate headlines, Tamil Nadu is now looking beyond the annual battle over water releases. In fact, the state government has announced a feasibility study to examine the construction of barrages across the Cauvery to store surplus water during periods of heavy inflows, a move aimed at improving water security for the Delta region. Now, the proposal, announced in the state budget, has been welcomed by farmer groups who say it could help reduce the amount of water flowing unutilized into the sea and provide a buffer during distress years. The announcement also comes at a time when the Cauvery issue remains highly sensitive, with repeated disputes over water releases between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu affecting irrigation in the delta. Moving on, India's digital payment story is seeing its next battle, moving from how people pay to how people shop. Bengaluru-based and Flipkart-backed SuperMoney is betting that affordability at checkout could be the next big growth engine with the launch of its new Split Store, an in-app marketplace that lets users buy products from brands like Apple, Nike, Adidas, and a few others. Now, this even as these customers then get to repay in multiple zero-interest installments. The company is calling this the beginning of what it calls the split commerce era, targeting India's growing base of Gen Z and first-time credit users. Now, the platform, remember, offers over 60 lakh products. It runs on Flipkart's delivery infrastructure and promises no processing fee or interest, requiring only a KYC to access installment payments. The company says affordability-led commerce could account for nearly 14% of India's e-commerce transaction value this year, with the market expected to exceed $29 billion. But as embedded credit becomes more mainstream, questions around responsible lending, repayment behavior, and profitability will also come into sharper focus. So joining us now to discuss all this and more is Prakash Sikaria, founder and CEO at SuperMoney. Prakash, thank you so much for joining us on South Central. Let's jump straight into it. You're positioning this as split commerce as opposed to a buy now, pay later feature. What's the fundamental difference really, and why does it matter at this time and place?
Hi, Jude. Thanks for having me here. When we think about split commerce means a lot more than a regular BNPL, right? BNPL was always designed to make payments more convenient and seamless. And I think that problem and that battle has been settled in India with UPI taking a dominant digital payment market share. So the split commerce aim at making shopping affordable. It is in three tranches. One third down payment, one third after the first month, and the last third after the second month, which is somewhere between a regular BNPL and a EMI. And it's a first credit product that we imagine a lot of young Indians to have. And we think that in India, where aspirations are much larger than the means, this act as a ladder between both, and that is what we are trying to achieve with our offering.
You know, Prakash, why launch this product now? I mean, what consumer behavior or market gap convinced you that India is actually ready for this model at this very time?
So if you see all the BNPL or EMI models specifically, which are embedded models, and as you rightly said, have struggled in India for the last few years. And the reason for that is that the cost of capital in India is very large. And for the younger cohort or new to credit cohort, the losses are also very large. So this makes it very expensive to provide affordable commerce to this younger cohort that we want to. What we designed, and as you said, that we are in the second phase of UPI, where you are building newer solutions on top of the UPI as an infrastructure to solve some of these use cases. So we have been sitting on tremendous amount of data, a lot of customer traffic because of our UPI app, and access to India's largest commerce catalog. We thought of bringing it all together, and I think it has been 2 years in making as we have been scaling the UPI at our end. But now we think that we are ready to give an offering that India has not seen yet, which serves the need of this younger cohort and gets them to formal credit in 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 rupees credit limits to start.
Now, what you're saying is that the addressable affordability market could cross $29 billion. Now, what share of that market is SuperMoney aiming to capture over the next 2 to 3 years?
So if you think about it, there are two kinds of affordability markets. One is by banks, and there is another Pay 3 BNPL kind of market. We are going after this market. Our estimate is this would be about 30 to 40% of the total affordability market, and we would want a lion's share out of it, right? So yeah, the way we are looking at the problem, that we want to create a newer market versus fighting for market share within the existing affordability market, which banks do an incredible job at serving that market.
So what you're coming to the table with the zero interest, zero free model sounds really attractive for consumers, but where does the business actually make money, and how sustainable is the model?
So what we have done is, along with affordability, we have also coupled demand generation. Right? So we make affiliate commissions, processing fee, and lending commissions in the entire journey, which means that our revenue pool is 10 to 15%. And within that revenue pool, we are able to cover all our costs, underwrite a segment that has not been underwritten before, and still make it sustainable. So again, as I said, it is important to be TPAP to bring all the lenders together, to bring the commerce catalog together, and do demand generation for all of this. Right? And that is what makes the model different. Till now, all these pieces were done by different people. There was a different UPI app, there was a different lender, there was a different demand generation, there is a different e-commerce. So the profit was getting split and no one was taking money or making money in the process. We are trying to reposition it and fix the model.
Right. Now, this targets many first-time credit users, Prakash. What safeguards are in place now to prevent, let's say, overborrowing and ensure responsible repayment?
So the first, there are two things that we do. One is UPI mandate for repayment so that repayments are on time. and automated. And second, the first limits are extremely small. They're 2,000, 3,000 rupees limits.
Yeah.
So there is what we have seen, if the limits are extremely small and it is tied to a product purchase, the default rates are high and the borrowing behavior is far more responsible than giving out a 5,000 rupees loan or small ticket loans, which was prevalent over last decade. So the mandate and small ticket size loans make sure that it is sustainable and it doesn't get into people into a kind of a lending trap that none of us want them to be in.
Right. Well, lots of interesting things to look forward to then, even as the in-app marketplace will take SuperMoney onto a whole other plane. So Prakash Sikaria, thank you so much for joining us in South Central and breaking down some of these insights with regard to SuperMoney itself, as well as split commerce, which is the new thing to watch out for in this space. Thank you again for joining us on the show.
Thank you.
Moving on, a worrying trend has emerged from Andhra Pradesh. The state has, in fact, recorded an estimated 78,282 new cancer cases in 2025, the highest in the last 5 years. Now, cancer-related deaths also rose to well over 42,900, according to data shared by the Union Health Ministry in Parliament. Now, these numbers show a steady year-on-year increase, with new cancer cases rising from 71,970 in 2021 to 78,282 just last year. This while deaths climbed from 39,443 to 42,935 over the same period. Now, nationally, India reported nearly 15.7 lakh new cancer cases and over 8.68 lakh cancer deaths in 2025, highlighting the growing burden of the disease. The estimated 78,282 new cases in Andhra Pradesh means the state also accounts for roughly 5% of India's projected 15.7 lakh cancer cases in 2025, which is roughly in line of its share of the country's population, thereby underscoring the growing burden of cancer across the state and the country. Shifting focus to Kerala next, flood waters have begun receding in parts of the central region of the state, offering some relief after days of heavy rain. However, the IMD has issued an orange alert for Ernakulam, Idukki and Kottayam among 5 districts, warning of more heavy rainfall even as rescue and relief efforts continue. Authorities, meanwhile, remain on high alert as low-lying areas remain vulnerable to fresh flooding, with the weather department forecasting more heavy showers over the next 48 hours. The death toll, remember, in the state has touched 26 after days of very heavy rainfall. Meanwhile, the Telangana police has rolled out an AI-powered upgrade to its Dial 112 emergency response system, claiming it can cut response times by up to 30%. The new system uses artificial intelligence to analyze emergency calls, prioritize incidents and dispatch the nearest available patrol or emergency unit more efficiently. Officials say the technology is expected to improve response times during medical emergencies, crimes and accidents, making Telangana one of the early adopters of AI-driven emergency policing in the country. Meanwhile, Indian badminton star PV Sindhu has laid the foundation stone for a centre of excellence that will bear her name in Visakhapatnam. The facility in question aims to nurture young sporting talent with world-class training, infrastructure, and strengthen Andhra Pradesh's sporting ecosystem. The Centre of Excellence is expected to become a hub for athlete development and reflects the state's push to build high-performance sports infrastructure while creating the next generation of badminton champions. And with that, it's a wrap on the bulletin today. Thanks so much for watching South Central. We'll be back tomorrow with more news and updates from South India. But for the moment, it's goodbye from us.